Welcome to this Wheels at Wanaka Earth Moving episode. With me is Richard Campbell. Richard's well respected in earth moving circles. He's a regular contributor to the New Zealand Contracting magazine. So let's join Richard and talk about some of the machines being demonstrated at what's been said to be the last Wheels at Wanaka event. Richard, I remember doing a story on the TC12, and I think Collis had a couple. Did he?
Yes.
And I don't think that's one of the ones that came to New Zealand. And what is it?
That's a Terex TS18.
And that's going to be pushed by another TC12.
Yep.
And there seems to be an influx of TC12s into the country. But as I said, they're not part of the original five.
The original machines that came in, most of them were sent out to pasture some time ago, but of recent times there's been quite an upsurge in the restoration of old earth moving equipment, and fortunately some of these have been found and preserved.
I see this one's got a canopy on it, and that wouldn't have happened back in the day, would it?
No, none of the original importations into New Zealand had a ROPS on them.
No, and I see there's another green. Does that mean something, being that colour?
That's General Motors Terex. That's their corporate colour, called Highlight Green.
Okay, and the engines?
In the TC12, General Motors 671s, and the vehicles in that shot there, the 8230's got a 671 in it, and the scraper was a Euclid 16 TDT, and it's got GM 671s front and rear.
Oh, okay, so 671s abound.
Yes, very, very popular engine.
And that 8230, that's a single engine, is it?
Yes, single 671 in that too.
Wow. Richard, that scraper's got its door open.
Yes, not uncommon on machines equipped with General Motors original cabs, which were very noisy and very hot.
Now I see he's getting another bulldozer up behind him there, and just as this one's going past, there's got a fuel tank on the side there. I don't think that was on the originals, was it?
No, the original machines that came to New Zealand didn't have the extended range fuel tank on them.
Now this double push here, what's the reasons for that?
It's faster production, less wear and tear on the scraper and the dozers.
So you were telling me that they made two bulldozers together, Caterpillar.
Caterpillar made a dedicated scraper pusher called the DD9, which came out in the late 1960s. Its sole reason was to push scrapers.
Really? Okay. Well, yeah. So there's more pushing. So what you're saying here is if there's two bulldozers pushing, it's just to save time or speed things up.
Yeah, speed things up. You're going to load the scraper faster, and it's going to do it with less wear and tear on the machinery.
Right, and that's important. You want your machinery to last a fair bit of while you've got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now this truck-looking thing here, I mean, what's that again?
That's a Euclid 16 TDT.
Were they in New Zealand? I think they were, weren't they?
Yes, there were 8 of them came into the country originally. The first one's going to Dryden Construction, and they worked on the construction of Wellington Airport in the 1950s.
Wow. Now this will be what's wrong with this picture, Richard?
A wee bit too much power to the back engine, and the dozer operator's probably carrying his blade a little bit high there too.
So that's why that wheel's spinning.
Yes, he's losing traction.
Yes, but it doesn't seem to make any difference of the material going into the bowl.
No, he's still moving forward, which is the main thing. So.
Yeah, well, he's overflowing, so he's obviously filled it. Yeah.
Yes, he's full.
But he's got it back on the ground now, so he must have just loaded it, realised what he's done, and just dropped it a wee bit.
Yes.
Wow. And he's on his way. Richard, now we're coming to the big stuff, and this is one very big dozer.
80 tonnes of pure brute force with a reinforced blade.
And the reinforced blade is for what, to cope with rocks, stuff like that?
Prevent rock damage and further reinforce the blade, which has probably seen a lot of work anyway.
Any idea what the engine would be in that?
It's the original D10s came out with a very big V12 in them, but they've had several changes over the years.
Oh, okay. Wow. And what's the idea of that, the tracks going around like they are?
To prevent shock loading on the final drives. The final drive's completely isolated.
Oh, okay. And it's a TD20, is that international?
Yes, good little tractors.
And what we've got here is my mate Richard Wakeland, and he's thoroughly enjoying himself, which is well over 80. And
on an earlier petrol start, 234 5 horsepower Cat D8H with a radial arc ripper.
Now tell me about that.
You don't see too many of those these days on larger tractors. Most of them are fitted with parallelogram type, but they were all the rage in the day.
Oh, okay, so this one would have the modern rippers.
Yes, this D9G's got a parallelogram ripper on the back.
Which means it goes straight down?
Goes straight down.
Right, oh, okay. This next one looks like it's been part of the forestry.
Yeah, she's certainly bush-rigged, that one.
Bush-rigged, so you don't want a tree to fall on.
No, it's quite a solid-looking logging canopy on that one.
Sure, I was just wondering how the hell do you get in there? Obviously there's a...
With difficulty.
Yeah. So built for little guys. And what's this?
Cat D8H with a number 463G cable control scraper.
You like cable control?
I love cable control.
Really? Wow. So they had spare wire on these things somewhere in the...
Yes, on a spool on the back behind the ejector.
Yeah, wow. We've got a D9 here, and it's got the old Ministry of Works logo on it. I guess that makes the Caterpillar D9 the Ministry of Works favourite.
When the Ministry of Works was involved with a lot of the hydroelectric schemes in the South Island, the D9 was a popular tractor for them, and they bought several. That's an unusual example in that it's got an angled blade on it, and it's a manual transmission model. The operator's holding the clutch lever in his hand there.
Oh, okay. So you push the clutch forward, change the gear on the other side, and then push the clutch back again.
That's exactly
So in other words, you're not doing it with your foot, you're doing it with your hand.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting tractor there, another D7, a bit smaller.
Forestry equipped.
Yeah, right. And this little character?
Looks like another 7.
Yeah, D7, yep.
7F perhaps?
Could be.
Yeah. Mainstay of loggers in New Zealand, D7s.
Wow. And another logging rig, is it?
Yep. Yes, that's a Komatsu D155A. It's probably an ex-New Zealand Forest Products machine.
Right. It's very similar in the controls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
And Baker have a big name in this wheels at Wanaka. They're all over the place.
Yes, D8K.
And that's got a muffler up on the bonnet.
Yes. Yes, they when the Caterpillar changed from the D8H to the D8K and gave it an extra 25 horsepower, they moved the muffler to the top of the bonnet.
Richard L.D. Collis, Dick Collis, popular man down south. That's his TC12, but I don't think it's one of the originals, is it?
No, I don't believe that's one of the original ones.
And coming up next,
a Terex 8280, which is the last version of the TC12, was discontinued in 1973 and replaced by a whole new range of Terex dozers.
well, they haven't done bad from the late 50s through to 74. They've had nearly 16, 17 years.
Yes, they did well.
And this guy's tilting his blade. Why would he do that?
To cut ditches, angle back slopes, a useful attachment.
And that's just a single engine?
Yes, just a single 671 in that.
Yeah, wow. And coming up is an unusual tractor. You don't see these every day. Tell me about this.
This is a Vickers Vicon. Not a very successful tractor and very, very rare. I believe there are only 3 or 4 of them left in the world.
Really? So some of these Vickers went to Wellington Airport? Or
Yes, the Vigor model was used at Wellington Airport. The Ministry of Works had quite a fleet of them there.
Right. Interesting looking tracks.
Yes, it's meant to engulf whatever it rides over for better traction.
Oh, okay. And now we're back to the Ministry of Works with a
Caterpillar D9G.
D9G. I just remember doing a story about the pipeline from New Plymouth to Huntly, and there was about 4 or 5 D9s in a river with their side loaders and sort of laying this pipe across the river.
Yes.
Amazing.
That'll be the pipeline version of the D9 was called the 594.
Oh, okay. Wow. And that's another D9, although it seems to have got bigger.
Yes,
and the tracks are the way they are. You were saying before that they went and did them all over again.
Caterpillar have retrospectively done that final drive arrangement to all their track type tractors.
And that makes them last longer or get less trouble?
It's supposed to be less damage to the final drives.
Oh, okay. All right. And now we're back to the tractor with the wire going into the
my very
scraper.
favourite cable-controlled scrapers.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Richard, those are interesting tracks. What are they for?
They're low ground pressure tracks, meant for tractors that are working in swamps. The triangular shape also means they're self-cleaning, so the tractor's not picking up muck as it goes along.
Oh, okay. Now you can see that scraper. Tell me about that.
That's a Caterpillar 660B. Currently the largest single-engine motor scraper that Caterpillar has built, holding 54 cubic yards.
Wow. A big scraper and a big bulldozer to give it the old 1-2 behind.
Plenty of power to push that one. Caterpillar only made one bigger scraper, the 666, and it was just a 660B with an extra engine on the back.
Oh, okay. Wow. Good looking dozer.
Very nice.
Richard, there's where it all began for CAT, and 2 companies combined and formed Caterpillar.
Yes, 1931, when Holt and Best came together, and along with the diesel engine, and away we go.
And that was the shifter of the time, the old drag line up on the top there, as you were saying. Everybody had one.
I think the old 10RB, just about every quarry in New Zealand had one of those at some stage. And that fellow's having a lot of fun up there casting.
He's pulling it towards him. He's got a full load, the bucket's full. And he's going to swing it to the right and dump it on that bit of a hill. And that's basically it. And then he'll pull it towards himself and then swing it back out again. There it goes.
And he's having a great deal of fun.
Hits where he wants it to hit, and he'll drag it all up again. There it goes, another bucket full of material. He's happy with that, and back up on top of the hill it goes again, and job's done. And these tractors are heading off for a little parade. They have a parade ground at Wheels at Wanaka, and everybody gets a turn to parade their particular vehicle, and these 2 old tractors are going in there to do that. They're popping away there with their diesel.
They'll be their prides and joy, those ones.
Yeah.
Very few examples of those actually operational. There's some in museums, but they need restoring.
Now that tractor threw out a fair bit of black smoke. So that's when the pressure goes on, is it?
That's when the pressure goes on.
Yeah, and the doors open on that scraper.
On the TRX 24, yeah.
And that's quite funny, because I've got a photograph up on the wall there with a GMC truck, and the door's completely off. And the reason it's off, one of the reasons anyway, is because if he loses the brakes, he can actually jump out. If you're going down a steep hill on one of those scrapers, you probably have to hang with it.
I think you're probably safer in it than out of it.
But there's that big machine being pulled by the big dozer, Yeah, the scraper with the door open. Yeah, fantastic, an absolutely fantastic display of machinery.
Absolutely.
And thank you very, very much, Richard. Awesome.
You're welcome.